Hey guys, this is Steph from the Swiss Wolf. I hope you're all doing great. You may have heard of ICP recently because it's been in the spotlight, price surged 55% in a single day, and now everybody's talking about it. And if you haven't been exposed to it yet and don't have it in your portfolio, you might ask yourself, well, what is a good entry point? When do I enter ICP? And what is a likely bottom for me to have the best price to get in? But before we talk about the charts, I'm going to talk to you about ICP on a very high level. I'm not going to break down everything that they're working on, just a very high level understanding on what the project is and why I really think it's a very strong project. Because there are very high chances that you already know what it is. And if you go on the internetcomputer.org website, you can see what it is, what it's capable of, what their roadmap is. If we quickly take a look, you can see they're working on AI, chain fusion, privacy, decentralization, identity, and even digital assets. So they're really working on a lot of different things. The very simple version is that it's a layer one blockchain that wants to act like a decentralized cloud, not just like settling transactions, but actually having everything on the chain. Because on most chains, you have smart contracts that act very small and they're very limited programs. But on ICP, developers deploy what they call canisters, which is a smart contract that stores data. It serves web content, runs logic and almost internet speeds, and directly on the blockchain. So in theory, you can run the full decentralized app on the chain from the back end to the database, to the front end on chain without having to rely on Google Cloud or anything like this for the data storage. The governance of this token is done in the network nervous system, which is the NNS, and anyone can participate in it. You just have to stake your tokens and you can vote on different upgrades and also get incentivized by providing security to the project and staking those tokens. And also one very big aspect of ICP is that they communicate with other chains without having to rely on other chains' information. They have, for example, CKBTC, which is Bitcoin, and they can directly communicate with the Bitcoin chain. And this lets ICP smart contracts talk directly to Bitcoin and Ethereum chains without using the classic bridge in a sense. So they're really trying to be like a world computer or like a sovereign cloud where the app, the data, and now even AI models live on the decentralized chain. And the reason why price surged so much in a very short term is because they released Caffeine AI, which is a new product that you can talk to. If you go to the main page of ICP, you can see caffeine.ai and you can create a prompt where you just tell it, okay, I want you to create an app for sharing family memories. And this is very powerful. A lot of people didn't expect it, I think, and now realized that ICP fits in the AI narrative. So now that everybody's talking about ICP, everybody is calling crazy numbers, crazy exit targets. What is a good time? What is a good strategy to invest and how do I get exposed to it? And to determine this, let's take a look at the chart. On the monthly time frame, you can see that price surged, had a big retracement, and was consolidating around here for a very long time. So after this rejection, it's likely that we're either going to consolidate a little bit more or maybe fall a little bit more. And the goal is to find the best possible entry. We're not trying to catch absolute bottoms. This is very unlikely, but at least something close to a bottom to get the best possible entry for the maximum return. If we jump on the weekly, you can see that we have a low and we have a high. And I love to use the Fibonacci tool, which gives you after a move the possible retracement levels where it gives you an information of where people consider a good retracement and where they consider it as too much and maybe not just a retracement but a move lower. And anything between 61.8 and 70.6% is called the golden zone, where it's like that magic number where if you have a pullback to these levels, it's usually a very good entry. So the Fib tool is the first thing that I used, and then you can jump on the daily time frame and see when it's likely that you're going to have a reversal pattern and a strong likelihood that this is actually a bottom and not just a fall, basically. Because if you have straight red candles all the way through this zone, then it's not a good time to buy. So what you want to look for is a reversal candle, like this bullish engulfing here. Is it very good? No, because we don't engulf the wick of this candle. So this is a first sign of a price slowdown, but you want to see something that looks stronger in terms of base or bottom, because we could still go around the 78.6%, which is around $4.3, which would be a very good entry as well. So let's take a quick look at near. I saw a good example here. If you get a candle like this one, which is a strong engulfing closing above the wick and the body, this is a strong sign. Now the second thing is, what do we get after the second day? You could enter early on the first candle, but if you wait for another candle that confirms this move, you have better chances of getting a confirmation of that bottom. You could have, of course, on the second day a massive pump and miss it. This is why you have to really weigh in the risk when entering on the first one. It is a little bit early, but you might get most of the return or a way better return than if you wait and then you have a very strong pump. But this type of engulfing is very strong because you close above the body, above the wick. Also, if you see anything like this where you have lots of wicks at the 78.6% level, then it's a very strong indication you're going higher. Or anything like this where you engulf really from the bottom to the top, everything. These are very strong candle formations. This is also a very good one because you have a bearish candle, a doji, and then a bullish engulfing, which is a morning star formation. The candle pattern matters, especially when you're at support. They're more important when you are at these support levels. Here you can also see a very good example on that support. Near at $1.9 had two bearish candles, a massive bullish candle, which is a strong morning star, and then we went all the way to $3. And on the weekly, you can see that there was a very strong support around this level right there. And this is how you can get early entries on certain coins that are showing accumulation. Any coin that has this type of accumulation has lots of potential. We saw also Chainlink last year from May 2022 to September 23 having a very strong and long consolidation. And once it broke out, we saw almost a 300% move. So any chart having this type of consolidation that has a strong support has a strong likelihood of rising like this. And ICP has been doing this since March 2025. We did have that fake out here, but even if you bought at around 4.5, held through that fake out, you would be already in profits and have a really good entry if you didn't take any profits around this level. Now, if you invest for the very long term, you determine an exit price, but if it's more for the shorter term, you can use that first extension and also second extension to take some profits. Because once we reverse from these levels, it's usually very likely that we go to the first and second extension. And here we have that weekly resistance. Once we break out of this trend line, it's very likely that we're going to go to the $15 and then $20. But it's also very important to keep an eye on Bitcoin because we need to find support on Bitcoin. We did have that support right there, which is also on the weekly, sitting on the 70.5% fib retracement. We did get one very big wick. Usually when there is momentum, wicks get filled, so we're seeing a further pullback. And if you want to know how strong your ICP setup is, then you have to keep an eye on Bitcoin because we need to see a bit more wicks at this level to know that it's more likely a base, a support, than just another continuation down. So keep an eye on Bitcoin, keep an eye on ICP if you want to know what is a good place to enter, or even DCA. The mistakes to avoid are really don't invest if everything is pumping and it's already pumped 100%, because then you might be a bit late and face a drawdown. And also, if Bitcoin hasn't found support yet, then it's risky because you might also have a further pullback to either the 78.6% or even back to that same support around here. So investing now or at $5 is almost a 50% difference, and you could get double the tokens. So it's very important to keep an eye on Bitcoin, keep an eye on ICP. Look at the charts on the daily to see where you see a strong rejection, and use Bitcoin as a confluence. If you see several rejections showing in these wicks, then you know, okay, I need to wait for ICP to give me one candle or two candle confirmation, and then I know it's a good time to invest. I'm also going to look at ICP for a swing trade because I do believe that once we turn, it's going to have a very strong and quick move. If you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe. I also share these kind of setups and explanations in my private community. The link is on my website. And whenever I spot these type of setups, I always share them. So I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the explanation, and I wish you all the best. Bye everyone.